When you're a kid or even as an adult, you come across these people that just seem to have it all figured out. Like they can walk into a room, they can own the room. They're good looking, they're healthy, they're successful, they're happy, they make other people happy, and you just like love to be around these people. As a child, I always would observe people. And I always just remember thinking, what is the difference between these people and everybody else? Like, what do they know that everybody else is just not understanding? Because we're all humans, right? Like, we all have the same brain. Why can't everybody just figure it out like them? And I just remember always thinking this, like obsessing over this because I wanted to be that person. There's a video on YouTube that's called The Strangest Secret to Success. And I highly recommend watching it, but they talk about what the difference is between these people and everybody else. And basically it all comes back to, and I know that this is no secret, what you think is what your life becomes. And it's as simple as that. And I know that it's a lot easier said than done. Like everybody pretty much knows that because it's talked about, like manifesting, the law of attraction. What you think in your head becomes reality. And it's just as simple as that. And in the video, they put it in a good way. They say that your mind is like land, right? And your thoughts are like the seeds. Pretend that you're looking at a farm and you plant a seed. Now, the land doesn't care what kind of seed you put into it. It's just going to give it right back to you. So you put a potato in the ground, you get a potato back, right? So it's like your mind. Whatever thoughts that you are having are just going to come right back to you. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. So if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, that's what's going to be projected in your life. Now, the big question is, okay, well, how? How am I supposed to get rid of all of this anxiety and negativity? Because the video doesn't talk about how to do that, and nobody really talks about how to do that. And I think about this a lot because as a person I don't have anxiety, okay? Like I've said this before, I feel like I have the opposite of anxiety where I just don't give a fuck about things that everybody else seems to care about. I just don't think, like, it's weird. I don't care about half the things that other people care about. I don't know what the word is for that, but I don't have anxiety. I have friends that have like really bad anxiety, and I'm always like trying to get in their head, like think about what is it that they are so anxious about? Like what am I missing here? And really, the best way that I feel like I could help someone with anxiety is you have to change your perspective. The way that you are looking at a situation, you have to change the angle that you are coming from. Now, I came up with an analogy to help better explain what I'm trying to say about perspective. So think about the first day of school, the first day of work, the first night at your new house. Just think about it, okay? Just think about walking through how you felt, what everything looked like, whatever. And now think about the most recent day of school or the most recent day of work. How you see your house now, it's different. The perspective of the place is different. Even though it's the same place, the way you are seeing it is different. So if you are able to change your perspective, you can change the way you think. And you really just got to think outside the box. Like you can pretend you're in a game. Come from that perspective. Like me as a mom, I don't think of it any more than I'm just hanging out with my two little best friends. Like it's not that deep to me. And that's just the perspective I'm coming from. So that's why it's just not so serious to me and it's fun. Sometimes you just have to gaslight yourself. You got to fake it till you make it. You got to tell yourself you're having fun. Tell yourself this is easy. Tell yourself you can do it. And you will do it. If you truly, you got to kind of become a pathological liar in your head to change sometimes. Like, you know what sticks out to me is thinking about, I remember Adam Sandler did a speech like maybe it was a few months ago. And he was talking about how everybody around him would constantly tell him how funny he was, even though he like wasn't funny at all, right? But he believed he was because of his friends just like gassing him up and his family like gassing him up, like, yeah, you're so funny. And he became a hilarious, successful guy because all the people around him were manifesting it kind of for him, and he believed it. He believed it himself. And as a mom, I try to plant these seeds in Jay and Rose's head that they are funny, that they are amazing, that they are good listeners, that they are good people. because I want them to believe that's what they are, because if they believe it, they will become it. So if you are struggling with anxiety, depression, please try to find a different perspective. Try to find a different angle to come from, even if it's just constantly reminding yourself that you are on a little floating ball in space and nothing is that deep. And I know it's hard to always remember that. Maybe like put it on your background of your phone. Like, I hate seeing people suffer with anxiety. As someone who doesn't have it, I know how much less problems I deal with compared to my friends. Like, I see them suffer like over nothing. Like, in my opinion, it's nothing. I notice a lot of my friends' anxieties come from, they have these rules, these unwritten rules in their heads where they think that things are good and things are bad and things are right and things are wrong. And you're supposed to do this and you're not supposed to do this. And if you free yourself from that way of thinking, then you free your mind, because all those things are made up. There is no such thing as good and bad. There's no such thing as right and wrong. You have to break out of these ways of thinking, because there just is. There just is things, and the way you feel about something can make you feel good or make you feel bad. But I go by what I feel. Like, no one else can convince me that something is bad if I don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean? You really have all the answers inside of you. You know what's good for you. You know what's bad for you. And even if you don't know, you got to dig deep down. And you do know. The answers are all inside of us. Don't let anybody else tell you what's good for you or what's bad for you. And because I truly understand there is no such thing as good, bad, right, and wrong, whatever, I am unfazed by hate comments. I'm unfazed by people telling me what I should or shouldn't be doing. People tell me all the time, you should be married. I know that that's all made up. It's all made up, and you need to free your mind of all of these caged ideas and thoughts, because they're not real. So there's my TED Talk, guys. I feel like now more than ever, everyone's just so caged in. Nobody wants to hang out. Everybody just wants to go home and sit on their phones, and nobody can even talk to people anymore. And everybody's just so anxious and scared and sad. And it's heartbreaking. So I'm trying to do what I can here to help others. So thank you for listening.